Good morning. I'm Chris Marsden, the Chair of Huddersfield Civic Society, and I'm here in St George's Square to visit the old water tower, parts of the Grade 1 listed building that is Huddersfield Station. We gave an award this year for the best restoration scheme to this building, and I'm here to visit this magnificent 1890s building with a water tank on top. A really strange looking building, but really important to the station and its use. I'm here to visit Neil Buxton, General Manager of ACOR, the Association of Community Rail Partnerships. Oh, hi Neil.
Hello Chris, nice to see you.
It's great to be here, thank you.
Good.
Neil, steam locomotives have been long gone. So what happened to the building after the train went?
Well, after it ceased to be used properly, I think they were using it to some extent as a small office and then as a general store to put rubbish in. And then for 20 years it was completely unused. And with obviously being unused, it got worse and worse condition. There were dead pigeons in it, there were broken windows and all that sort of thing. And yet being a listed building, it couldn't be demolished. So somebody had to do something about it. And that's when we came along with our friends in the European Union who actually provided us with a lot of the money to support it and get it fettled up.
Neil, can we go inside and see what's changed?
Of course, you're welcome. Come
Thank
on.
you. Well, no, this is quite a contrast to the exterior.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, the idea was to retain the exterior so it looked like the old water tower, but inside it's supposed to be an example of converting a listed building into a usable, environmentally friendly office.
That which they say can't be done.
Well, we've just proved that it can be done.
Indeed.
And you can see part of the history that we've kept here, which is the old downpipe, which fed the water tank upstairs, which is above our head. And then you'll see the radiators, which are fed by the water air source heat pumps, which are also up in the tank. And the air conditioning system, which is an air exchange system, which is also run from the air heat pump up in the tank. And all the electricity is supplied by the photovoltaic cells, also in the tank. So there's a lot of kit upstairs that you can't see, which is why the building looks the same.
I can see the windows are secondary glazed.
The requirement of doing the outside was that we kept it looking exactly the same. So we couldn't use double glazed window panes themselves, so we put secondary glazing in sourced from an environmentally sound builder. And to keep the light down, we put internal blinds so we can adjust the light as it comes in as we require it.
And you must have some light PIR lighting?
Yes, we have very low power use lights up there that are controlled automatically, so when you need the light they come on, when you don't need the light they go off. And it's the same with the air control system. It senses how much carbon dioxide there is in the air and switches the system on, passes the hot old air over a heat exchanger and brings cool air in, which it then heats up so you don't lose heat inside the building.
So this is a 21st century building.
21st century building, and even the paint is low volatile compound paint. So it's all been done with a view to keeping the environment sound. Right, so this is the office, the building where we actually control all the kit and the equipment in here. It looks a bit like Star Trek, we think, but it keeps everything running and ticking over and working to its optimum efficiency.
What do they all do?
Well, it looks very complicated, but basically they control the air source heating, the system heating, the air extract fans, and all the complicated equipment we've got up in the tank, and helps provide us with all the air and heat that we need down here in the office. So in here is an enormous piece of kit.
Wow.
This is the downpipes from the water system, which we also had to keep as part of the historic structure. And you can see we've also kept the walls to show you what the structure was like without having it changed at all. And just as a point of fact, we've used low flush, environmentally sound toilets, and we use environmentally sound hand wash and so on and so forth. So it's all buying into the whole process. Okay, so there's one more room that I'd like to show you, which is what we call the goldfish bowl. but it's actually our private office. We're very proud of it, and it's where we hold most of our meetings. So if you'd like to come this way.
Of course. So the project has managed to do what I said was the impossible in many people's eyes.
Yes.
Was to take a Grade 1 listed building and make it a 21st century community and office space.
Absolutely. That was part of the European funding objective. Their aim was to demonstrate how you could take a building like this and use environmentally sound conversion techniques to convert it into a usable building. And this is part of something that's called the Interreg 4B programme. And we've got many colleagues across Europe who are doing similar things. In Germany and the Netherlands, for example, they're opening similar historic buildings to show how it can be done.
The building was empty for many years, so how did Acor come to occupy it now?
Well, it was a situation we found ourselves in our original office. We were starting to outgrow that, and we were hunting around for buildings that we might be able to afford. And a friend of mine in Network Rail raised the issue of this building having been empty for 20 years and would we be interested in it. We then approached someone else who was a specialist in European funding, who suggested that we might be able to access some of that to actually regenerate the inside of the building, provided we did it on an environmentally sound basis. And so with that money and the Railway Heritage Trust money that helped fund the outside, the project became live.
You've done a lot of work here. How long did it take?
Well, it was in two phases. The actual building itself didn't take very long, about a year from end to end. But the planning was horrendously long. It took us about 4 or 5 years to get to the point of where we could start putting a shovel in the ground. And that was largely to do with getting match funding, getting planning permission, and all those other complicated things that always dog projects like this. The cost was about 330,000, I think, which might sound very expensive, but remember this is a one-off, so we were trying to demonstrate ways that things could be done, and the more people that do it and the more information that's out there, the cheaper it'll become.
And the architects were from New York?
The architects were specialists in railway heritage, and they're called Potts, Parry, Ives and Young, and they are extremely good, very well understood, or they understood very well the actual project and what their brief was. And I left it entirely to them, and I'm really not disappointed at all.
I noticed on the roof there was in the photographs, there's a lot of photovoltaic cell arrays.
Yep.
Are they part of the cost of the project?
They're all part of the cost, yes. So we had to buy all those bits of equipment, the heat exchangers, the photovoltaic cells, get them installed, all part of the project cost.
And can we expect people to replicate the work you've done here elsewhere in the UK?
We hope so. We've done a report. The main body of the European funders have kept all the information that we've got, including the things we couldn't do, and that will act as a report for people who want to look at other listed buildings. And I would strongly suggest people to look at them. It's not as difficult as you might think, a little time consuming, but it can be done.
And I know the projects have won other awards. Can you outline them, some of them for us?
Yes, well, we've won the splendid award from the Huddersfield Civic Society. Thank you very much indeed. We've also won one from the Railway Heritage Trust. That was for the conversion of the building outside. And one from Railway Heritage, who basically liked what we'd done overall in the building. We've got a lot of support from our European friends who also like what we've done. They're quite impressed with the end product. And as you can see, it's actually provided Huddersfield with a building that they can be proud of as well, and that's something I'm quite pleased about as well. Quite apart from our own office, it's improved an area of the railway station that was otherwise looking quite tatty.
Will there be an opportunity for Huddersfield and local people to see the building?
Yes, we've signed up for the Heritage Open Days programme, and we're going to be open on Sunday the 14th of September, probably between about 10:30 and 4:30. And everyone is welcome to come and have a look around the building and see what we've done with it.
I thoroughly recommend it. I came last year, which led to the nomination for our award.
Thank you very much. We'll be very proud to show people around.